Thank you for joining me for some more yoga. We're going to do some strengthening, some back strengthening, some core strengthening, and some wrist and arm strengthening today. So we're going to be down on the floor, and go ahead and you can grab some blocks or a stack of books and a strap if you'd like to use that too. So maybe sitting it up a little tall, maybe rocking it a little bit from side to side. I'll use my blocks here. And then, as always, like with my trauma-sensitive yoga, use as many blankets and pillows as you want. So use as many props as you'd like to. Good, and then maybe finding the ground beneath you, and then kind of maybe snaking the torso up and lifting the crown of the head up towards the sky, towards the ceiling. Good, dropping our chin to chest, and then lifting our head and taking those eyes a little bit to the sky. And then again, dropping that chin to chest, and taking those eyes to the sky. Good, and bringing our head center neutral. Dropping one ear towards one shoulder, and center and bring that to the other side, other ear to shoulder. And bring that center. Let's get our breath ready. So let's inhale and sweep our arms up. Bring hands heart center. Inhale and lift it. And exhale and press the arms down. Inhale it again. Hands heart center as we exhale. Inhale and lift it. And exhale and press that down. And inhale and lift. Exhale heart center. Inhale and lift, and exhale and press, and one more time, inhale and lift this up, exhale heart center, inhale and lift, and let's release our arms down, and we're going to hinge ourselves forward. Now I have super tight hip flexors. I know some people, they can just go flat onto their backs. I cannot. I've never been able to, and that is okay. That's good. It's probably because of all the other things that I do. I run. So if you're finding yourself tight, not being able to move in different areas, it could be the way that you're built. It could be your joints. It also could be the things that you do in normal life, or other sports that you play, anything like that. So we're going to kind of lean forward into this. We want to keep our shoulders away from our ears and flattening through that spine, flattening through that back. You can have the blocks as high as you want, but we're keeping our glutes, so we're keeping that booty stuck to the floor, glued to the floor. And that back is flat so that we're opening that clavicle and that chest. Good, and then let's go ahead and lean this up. Let's take opposite hand, so we'll take our left hand onto our right thigh. Get a nice twist here, inhale it deeply. And exhale, let's bring this back to center and looking the other way, right hand to left thigh. Inhale it deeply, and exhale this back to center. Good, maybe roll those shoulders out a little bit and roll that forward. We're going to warm up our legs, so we're going to lean it back on our hands, and we're going to drop our knees from side to side. So now we're kind of waking up our hip flexors, and you can have your feet as wide as feels comfortable for you. I like to have it about the mat width apart. We're going to keep one foot forward so that we're making that kind of zigzag. And just like what we did in our simple cross leg, we're going to hinge it forward. This time it's a little harder in keeping that glute down. Really press through that and hinge. So once you find your shoulders and your back starting to round, move yourself backwards so that you get that full stretch. Because once it starts going here, everything starts losing its place, and there's no stretch going on. So let's lift that up, and we're stretching this in the hips, in the spine, and hinging this forward, opening that chest, and then let's go ahead and lean this back. Good. Let's take it to the other side, and dropping our knees again from side to side. Good. This time taking that other foot forward, we've got that zigzag. And sitting that up and hinging this forward once again, keeping our shoulders away, keeping our backs, our spine nice and flat. As we lean into this, lengthen through this, chest is open, clavicle is open. And breathing. Good, and then pressing ourselves back. Very nice. Let's lean it back one more time and drop those knees a little bit from side to side once more. Good. And let's go ahead and bring our feet together. And we're going to bring toes together, heels together. And you can hold this either at your ankles or at your toes, or I like to hold it underneath my heels, grabbing like this, shoulders down and away, because then I can pull my legs in a little bit closer. And I can open that chest. Let's breathe it here. Maybe dropping that chin. Good, and then gently release. Very nice. We're going to bring ourselves forward and come up onto all fours. We'll move into a little bit of cat and cow. So dropping our belly to the floor, take our eyes to the sky as we inhale. And rounding our spine chin to chest as we exhale. And dropping that belly to the floor, eyes to the sky, inhale. And rounding that spine chin to chest, exhale. And once again, dropping that belly, inhale. And eyes to the sky around this, exhale. So we're going to hold ourselves here in our big cat back stretch. And you're going to imagine that you're hovering over your body and you can look at your back. So now we're trying to get that belly button to go back towards that spine. We're doing that nice big cat back stretch, and you're watching your angel wings or your scapula. You're watching them come apart as you get such a good stretch right there. And then let's go ahead and release that as we drop our belly to the floor and take our eyes to the sky. We're kind of sinking into this and breathing in here. And then again, let's round this up. And then drop that belly. Good. And flattening that. Very nice. We're going to go into our first little arm strengthening. So we're going to go into it's part of the sun salutation. So we're going to go into the little bit of yoga push-up, the chaturanga. So our shoulders are going to be over our wrists and our hips are going to be over our knees. Let's go ahead and curl our toes under. We're going to lift ourselves up into a nice plank. And shifting our weight forward so that our shoulders are in front of our fingertips. Dropping to the fronts of our kneecaps. Slowly. See, our arms are very close. They're right by our rib cage as we slowly lower ourselves down. Elbows are pointed straight back. Heart goes to the floor. And then heart comes up off of the floor. So as you were slowly lowering down, you're imagining that your arms are brushing right by your rib cage. Let's curl our toes, press ourselves up and back into a child's pose right here. Lengthen through that. Good, let's bring this back up, curl our toes, lift ourselves back up into that plank, shift our weight forward, drop to fronts of the knees, uncurl toes, and very slowly, elbows are pointed straight back. This is where all the strength comes in. Heart to the floor, heart off of the floor, baby cobra. Curl our toes, press ourselves back, child's pose. Good, we're going to do that 2 more times. So bringing ourselves up, lifting that up, shifting the weight forward, and feel free to do the full push-up if that's where your practice is at without the knees on the floor. Shifting the weight forward, dropping to the knees if that's what you're doing, and slowly lowering heart to the floor, and then heart up off of the floor. Curl our toes, lift and press, downward, or child's pose. If you were hearing the meowing, that's Snickers. She's over there somewhere, walking around. And then bringing ourselves up. Let's go one more time. Lifting ourselves back up into that strong plank. Shifting our weight forward. Dropping to fronts of the knees. Uncurling our toes. And slowly lowering heart to the floor. heart off of the floor. Curl our toes, lift and press, and child's pose. From child's pose, take our hands by our knees, lift ourselves up. Let's go ahead and take our wrists out in front of us, right there. Go ahead and rotate that wrist. And we're going to do a little bit of wrist strength, forearm strength and stretch. So bringing ourselves back onto all fours. What we're going to do is we're going to keep our fingers facing front, and we're going to keep our fingertips on the mat as we lift the heel of our hand. So we're going to take this down and lift this up. We're going to go for 8 times. So take this down and lift for 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, last 2, and last 1. Good. We're going to change the positioning of our hands. So we're going to take our hands out. If this is not available to you, don't worry. You can take yourselves into child's pose. Otherwise, we're going to have our fingertips on the floor, lifting the heel of the hand and down. Take it 6, and down, 5, and down, 4, and down, last 3, and down, last 2, and down, and last 1, and down. Good. Sitting back on our heels. Let's bring our arms up. Go ahead and rotate those wrists. Shake that out. Rotate, rotate. Good. And we'll do a little bit of another wrist stretch and a forearm stretch. So we're going to take ourselves back onto all fours. And you can take one hand either to the side or to the back, where I know it looks funny, but I'm sure that you can take it this way or this way. So we're taking that, and we're going to do circles. So circling our shoulders around our hands, and you can feel that really good stretch in that forearm. So I'm feeling in my left forearm. Good, and then circle that the other way. Very nice. And then release that. Let's take it to the other side. Hands going to the side or back. And let's go ahead and circle that. Good, and circle that the other way. Very nice. Release that. Let's take it back into a child's pose and reach through our arms right there, lengthening through that. Looking at our fingers, let's walk our fingertips out to the front edge of your mat, almost like your arms are trying to walk out of their sockets, and then grip the front of your mat and bring yourself up, maybe slightly forward, stretch through that. Very nice. We're going to stretch the shoulder a little bit. So you can grab your block, and we're going to thread the needle, but we're going to thread the needle without touching the ground. So we're going to lift that arm up, and we're going to thread the needle through, but not touching the ground. Taking this out, and then lifting this up, and thread the needle through, not touching the ground. And then lift this up. Good, and one more time, thread the needle through, use that core right there. And then lift this up, and release that. Good, let's take it to the other side. Lifting that arm up, and thread the needle through, not touching the floor. And then again, lift that up, and thread the needle through, not touching the floor. And then one more time, lift that up, and thread the needle through, and bringing that up. Very nice. From here, we're going to give our wrists a little bit of a rest, kind of. We're going to go ahead and take ourselves onto our backs. We're actually, we're not. We are, because we'll be opening that chest. So we're going to go into a reverse plank. So what we're going to do is, if you have wrist issues, if your wrists are really bothering you, you can take this down onto your elbows. Bringing this up, fingers are facing towards our feet, or if it feels better for you, I know some people do the reverse plank with their fingers facing backwards. So pressing through the heels of our hands and the heels of our feet. We're going to lift with our pelvis first. I've seen a few times when people are doing their reverse plank, they lift like this with their chin, chest, eyes forward. So that, what we want to do is we want to open our chest, take our eyes to the sky, make our neck nice and neutral, lifting with our pelvis. So we're lifting with the center of the body so that we can be nice and strong, squeezing our glutes. Breathing it here. Pressing through the heels of the hands. You can feel that in your biceps. You can feel that in your chest, shoulders, legs. And then let's gently lower down. Simple cross leg. Sitting that up and hinging that forward. Good. Sitting this up, we're going to go into staff pose. So in staff pose, again, just like we did in our reverse plank, we're going to engage everything. So our feet are going to be flexed. Our big toes trying to get towards our shin, so that helps us to flex that. And when we flex that, that engages our calves, the backs of our lower legs. And then squeezing up, it engages our quadriceps, and then our hamstrings. And then sitting up tall on those glutes, squeezing those glutes, let's inhale and reach the arms up. Now we're going to engage the back and the abdominals, lifting this up, and those fingers were engaged too. So we are in that nice capital L, and the whole body is working here. Inhale it deep, and exhale, releasing our arms down. And again, inhale and lift it, and exhale, and inhale and lift, and exhale. Good. You can give yourself a little bit of a hug right there. Back into that nice strong legs, the legs of the L. We're going to bring one leg in, give that a nice big hug. Let's take that over, reaching the opposite arm around, and let's get a good spinal twist here. Looking back, maybe taking your eyes back a little bit further. And then let's bring that to the inside a little bit. Good, and release. Let's take it to the other side. Bringing that in, taking that leg over, reaching arm around. Nice twist, twisting, twisting, twisting. Maybe taking the eyes back a little further. And then taking this to the inside. And then release. Good. Reverse plank one more time. So pressing through our heels, heels of the hands, heels of the feet. Opening our chest, lifting with our pelvis and engaging those glutes as soon as we get up there. So inhale and lift it up, opening that up. Neck is neutral. Try not to take your chin so much to your chest or letting your head drop between your shoulders. We want to open up that back, open up that chest, squeeze up those glutes and that pelvis. And the eyes are to the sky and breathing it here. And then gently lowering pelvis down and take it into that simple cross leg. Hinge this forward. Very nice. Good. And then pressing ourselves, taking our legs back underneath us. And then slowly taking ourselves back into our child's pose. But this time we're going to walk our hands over to one side and lengthen through. So I'm walking my hands over to the right, and I'm going to sit my left glute towards my left heel. And then I'm going to pull myself up that way, and then bring myself back down. And walk the hands over to the other side. So now I'm walking to the left, my right glute to my right heel. And I'm going to pull myself up. Good. Then I'm going to take ourselves into heart-melting pose to open up our shoulders a little bit after doing that reverse plank. So walking our hands wide to the front edge of our mat, lifting dropping our chest down, tail is high. And you can have your forehead to the floor. Stretching through those arms, through that back. walk that back up. Very nice. Take our legs out underneath us. And we're going to take ourselves into a fish pose and then into a relaxation. So taking ourselves down, laying all the way down. We're going to take our arms, our hands underneath our glutes. So then we're going to take our elbows underneath, opening that chest. So we're doing a lot of chest opening. And then if it's available to, taking the top of your head gently onto the floor. And we've got our fish. Breathing it here, pressing into those elbows so we're not allowing a lot of weight or barely any weight to go into that head. Everything is in those elbows, in those hands, pressing, propping yourself up. Chest is open, heart is open. Good, and then gently lifting your head and releasing those arms out from underneath you. Let's grab a block, or you can grab your stack of books. Bending at our knees, we're going to take that block and it's going to go right at our low back. So we're going to do a supported bridge here. Our arms are to our sides. This is beginning to allow ourselves to begin to relax into our relaxation. Pressing through our feet. Let's go ahead and lift one leg up and lift the other leg up. And we're going to go into this is a modified shoulder stand. So our legs are lifted. Breathing it here. And then let's go ahead and gently bring this down. That support on our low back and our sacrum, our glutes, and we're going to go ahead and lift those legs again. Take that up, flexing through those feet. And this might feel really, really, really good to you. Breathing that here. If you don't have blocks or the books are too hard, you can do a big stack of pillows too. And then gently release. And breathe. Now for our final relaxation, we're going to do about 5 minutes of relaxation. You can keep your block here. If that feels really good to have your pelvis lifted and your heart lower than your legs, then feel free to stay here. You can remove that block, or you can even move that block back further so that it's at your bra or your angel wings. And you can do a supported fish here. So like, just if you loved that fish but you didn't want to do it as long, you could do a supported fish. You've got the support of that block or those books or pillows. Or you could be flat on the floor. So just finding whatever position, whatever form of relaxation feels the best for you. As you begin to give yourself this time to quiet your mind, quiet your body. Let's slowly begin to bring those thoughts back to the present and gently begin to bring that body back to the present. Bringing ourselves up. I'm going to turn this down before it gets really loud. Bringing ourselves up and finding a seated form that feels the best for you. You did it. You should be very proud of yourself. Maybe feeling a little less stressed, a little more clear in your head, maybe more strengthened in your arms and your core. Let's inhale and sweep our arms towards the sky. Bring our palms together. And then let's go ahead and bring the hands to forehead. As we face our day, let us think thoughts of truth, taking fingers to the lips. As we face our day, let us speak words of truth and love, and taking hands to the heart. As we face our day, let our lives be a light of truth and a light of love, having hearts of compassion and mercy, knowing that we have not been given a spirit of fear, but the spirit of love and a sound and peaceful mind. Let's get that nice deep inhale and cleansing exhale. Namaste. As always, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Remember, you are seen, you are heard, you are important, you have a voice, and you have a choice. See you next time.